Hey, it's your girl Paige, and you know I've got the good book tea. Do you ever wish Game of Thrones had more romance and less, unexpected beheadings? Well, grab your goblet of wine because Heirs and Spares Betwixt the Sheet edition by Jenny L. Spohr is serving up courtly drama, royal power plays, and enough spice to make a Tudor blush. I'll let you choose which Tudor. It's 1569, and Lady Annalore wants nothing to do with royal politics until the exiled prince turned king decides that she's the key to saving his kingdom and his heart. I mean, who could have expected that? Expect scheming nobles, forbidden desire, and a reluctant queen who won't just roll over unless she wants to. Perfect for history lovers who like their romance with high stakes, sharp banter, and just the right amount of scandalous. And if you prefer your historical romance with a little less heat between the sheets, there's a closed bed curtains version just for you. So, get your hands on Heirs and Spares Betwixt the Sheets edition out now, because royal duty has never been this delicious. Love ya!
With new McValue at McDonald's, you get more than you expect. So after a long day, buy a double cheeseburger and add a McChicken for $1. Because saving with deals is always on the menu with new McValue.
Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value.
You better not have no plans tonight.
Movie time and it's feeling right.
You're looking for a love that lasts. Find it at Romancing the Podcast. Ooh, ooh, baby, you had me at hello. Ooh, I love you.
I know.
Ooh, ooh, baby, you're the wind beneath my wings. Ooh, I'll have what she's having.
Thank you for tuning into Romancing the Pod. You had us at hello. I'm Paige Wesley.
And I'm Todd Schlosser, and this week, Paige made us watch
The
Sassenach Who Dumped Me. Paige, was this the first time you saw this movie? I'm assuming no.
It was not. I have seen this before. I didn't see it in theaters. I happened to catch it when it was like free streaming on like Netflix or Amazon or something, probably like 2 years ago.
Yeah, you binged Outlander seasons 1 through 2, and it was like...
It was during that time.
Would you like to maybe watch this movie with the same hotness?
Yeah. And the answer is yeah, I would, and I did.
Well, tell me how you felt about it the first time you watched it, Paige.
I mean, in a shocking show of rationality, I was not 100% on it the first time I watched it. And I'm not 100% on it today. I did think it'd be fun for us to talk about. I think we're going to have a good time. That's the reason to pick it.
Paige.
For sure.
Absolutely. We will have a good time talking about it. Would I watch this movie willingly again? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I would, because it means I get to stare at Outlander for longer. But here are my frustrations with the movie that I've had since the first time I watched it. I still had them when I watched it today. In fact, I would say on repeated watchings, it gets worse.
Paige, I got to be honest with you. The pacing in this was so bad.
Yes.
I even noticed it.
Let's talk about
and
it.
And it was like rough. So like, I get it. Like it is... Ooh, man. But there are moments of it that I like really loved. But let's talk about the pacing, and then I can talk about what I liked and didn't like. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing. The pacing gets worse every time you watch it, but some of the jokes get funnier. So like,
oh, I'm sure
there are funny moments in this. There are funny runners. There are asides and jokes that you're like, oh my God, this is hilarious. But then you're like, how fucking long is this movie? Here's the problem with this movie. It's twofold. One, because we're going to try and make the emotional arc of the movie Mila Kunis's personal journey from being a very reactive, reserved person to being a very proactive person.
Yeah.
They have to find a way for us to legitimize her relationship with Justin Theroux.
Hang on. Who's Justin Theroux?
Justin Theroux is Drew, the first boyfriend.
Okay.
The one that she thinks dies.
Yeah.
The movie feels like they need to spend time with that relationship to give us her emotional arc. I don't think we do. I think there are other ways we could have done that, but the movie thinks we need that information. Now, There's two problems with it. One.
Wait, are we now in the first fold? That's one fold deep on the first fold? Hang on.
What?
You said the problems were twofold.
Twofold.
And we were in the first fold, and you just second folded out of the first fold.
There's a lot of folds. This is, yes. So it's a problem for two reasons. One, it takes up a lot of screen time.
Yes.
But in that screen time, all we're getting is the first night they met. So we don't have any context for their relationship moving forward.
No.
We don't know why we should invest in him other than they have a cute meet cute, which we will find out later is actually her meet cute with the other guy.
It's a meet cute red herring in a spy movie rom-com. How could you ask for more, Paige?
Meet cuteception.
It's so great.
But it really messes with the pacing of the movie.
It is terrible.
Really bad.
I just said it was great. I love that reveal. I don't like the pacing, to be clear.
Yes, I don't like the pacing. There was a way to do that way faster.
Yeah.
And you could cut, there's about 4 flashbacks. You could cut 3 of them. And that's like 10 minutes right there. Shaved off the runtime of this movie.
At least, yeah. Although there are funny moments in those flashbacks that I don't hate, it just bogs the movie down, if that makes sense.
And, you know, this is a comedy thing of word economy and just economy of scene length and stuff.
Yeah.
Make it the tightest and funniest it can be. Nothing in those 3 flashbacks is funnier than other things we should get to faster. Take it out, right?
Yeah.
Then the second problem, now we're in the second fold.
Welcome to the second fold.
The second fold. I would argue that the first 2 acts of this movie are not nearly as bad as the third act. The first 2 acts are pretty watchable. The third act is what is happening. And part of that problem is the first 2 acts approach this movie from the perspective of the movie's admittedly very good premise of what if your ex-boyfriend turned out to be a CIA agent and now you, layperson, have to do the secret agent stuff? That's a great premise. It's many movies have relied on that.
I want to see the surgeon version of this, or the
Oh my God, so much.
like the fighter pilot version of this, like jobs that like. I wonder, I guess my question is, are spies like the marketers of the like professions that you find in movie world? Because everybody thinks they could do spy shit and nobody could do spy shit. The fact that she plays Duck Hunt at the beginning of this movie does not mean she could bullseye people
So funny.
in the heat of battle. Anyway, Paige, we'll get to all that.
I do think it's wild that the movie believes that Duck Hunt gave her spy skills.
I just, like, is a spy watching this with his girlfriend like, fuck, now she's going to think that she can just do everything that took me years to learn.
It's like when people come up to me and they're like, I'm kind of the funny one of my friends. And I'm like, I don't care.
It's like walking up to Jason Mantzoukas and being like, I'm the Jason of my group. And then him saying exactly this to you. Cool. And then keep walking, which is what our interaction was when I met Jason Mantzoukas. And honestly, he was way nicer than he should have been.
My one Jason Mantzoukas interaction, I was with my sister and we had just seen How Did This Get Made live. And we were like, hey, can we take a picture? They were like, yeah. And we just went, crazy eyes.
Yeah.
And then he did the craziest eyes. It was great. That picture is priceless.
Honestly, Paige, for someone whose like work I respect so much and I think is like one of the funniest people in the world, I botched that like meat totally. Although it was like we were at Comic-Con and we were walking down the sidewalk and he was walking the other way. I didn't want to like stop him or something.
Sure.
So I just rolled up on him and said something that was arguably super creepy. And then he didn't yell at me and we just kept walking other directions. Yeah.
Not yelling is, I mean, hey, you didn't get a yell. You didn't get, oh, you're still here. Like, you know, successful interaction, I would say.
Well, I mean, no, because my intention was for him to be like, oh my God, you seem so cool. Let's hang out all day. And of course, that didn't happen.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he had a schedule.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he was like getting to a panel he was doing or something, you know?
Most likely.
Yeah.
But okay, back to why.
Sorry, second fold. Return to the second fold.
We're back in the fold. Okay, in the fold, the funniest parts of this movie are lay people failing at spy stuff. Now, the flip side of this is a really good movie that just doesn't fit in either of our podcasts, which is Melissa McCarthy's Spy, where it's not that she's a layperson that's bad at stuff. It's that you would expect her to be bad at stuff, but she's actually good at stuff because she's been training the whole time and she just needed to believe in herself. It's a way better movie. If you're listening to this and being like, I kind of want to watch a spy movie, go watch Spy.
Isn't Jason Statham in that movie?
Yes, he is, and he's incredible.
Do they at least kiss?
Yeah, they fuck, dude.
How is that not a... We did Lockout, and our two main characters don't even kiss. Paige, how did you pick Lockout for this? Like, we could definitely do Spy. Come on.
I mean, if you want to do it next, I am on board. I love that movie, but it's not a romance.
Paige, I've never seen it and would love to.
I just love it.
Do you think this movie is a, quote, romance? There are romantic elements to it. And the metaphor of the movie is all about, like, the stages of a breakup. But,
yes,
yeah.
And she, in theory, fosters a relationship and ends up with Outlander, but, like,
yes.
Honestly, there's barely, but they kiss at the end. Like, technically, yes, this is a rom-com.
So let's watch Jason Statham fuck Melissa McCarthy next week, please.
I'm down, dude. No kidding. I fucking love that movie.
Then why am I having to talk you into it?
Because it's not a love story at all. And even her banging Jason Mantzoukas is not really a love story.
Oh, wait. She has sex with Jason Mantzoukas in that movie?
No, I'm sorry. Jason Statham.
Oh, my God, Paige. I almost left the Zoom call to go watch that movie. Are you serious?
No. Yeah, Jason Statham. Jason Statham, who at one point in that movie goes, just let me use the face-off machine. I know you have one.
Paige.
Great movie.
And that'll be what we're watching next week, hopefully.
There you go.
Like, we'll see later, I guess.
I'm down. I love that movie. Anyway.
But return to the fold.
We're back to the fold. This movie loses that plot of lay people trying to be spies once it makes, like, Kate McKinnon's character just unbelievably weird. Like, she's weird to begin with, but it's them being like, oh my God, we killed a guy. Like, what do we do? Oh my, how do we get to Austria? Like, should we destroy our phones? Like, that level of, like, as a layperson, you wouldn't know what to do. And then by Act 3, she's like, oh, by the way, I know Edward Snowden and the trapeze. And you're like, well, what the fuck is this?
Edward Snowden was a Chekhov's Edward Snowden, because she mentions in, like, Act 1 that they dated or went on a date, or that he just loves ska.
That they dated as teenagers.
Yeah.
And he just loves ska.
Which, like, I don't know if that's true, but I know that's true, that he just fucking loves ska or whatever.
Well, and here's the thing. It is funny, and it's funny for the callback, but that's the point in the movie at which she becomes not a human, like, Paige, as far as, like, the character goes.
She goes from Molly Shannon's character in Serendipity to the Black Widow in the third act. I agree.
Yes, and you're like
you're
what?
Not wrong. Yeah.
And I feel like that robs some of this of its watchability because it no longer makes them empathetic. Now it's annoying, and now you're like, what is this? Like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, what are they going to do? You know? And I think that's a big issue for me. I think Act 3 needs a rewrite.
Absolutely.
Just in general.
Yes.
In part because they don't have enough for them to do at that air quote set piece. Like, they need her to get to the speech with Justin Theroux where she realizes that she was basically a mark and that he, like, never believed that she would do anything about it. She would keep the secrets. She wouldn't confront him. And that's why he kind of stayed with her. And her realizing, like, oh, fuck that. Like, I'm better than that.
Yeah.
I deserve better than that. And Outlander seems chill enough.
Yeah, it's that Outlander's chill enough. No, it's that Outlander is, I don't know, 3 inches taller and has broader shoulders. Like, you could climb him more.
Oh.
Like, we get it.
I'd try. But also, she barely knows him in this. Like, we will talk about it, but they've spent a day and a half together.
Yeah, and that's part of it for her, and you let her have this.
I would never tell her not to.
Paige, I was going to say this. If you were in Mila Kunis's, like, situation, and, you know, we're single and ran into Outlander.
Sure.
It wouldn't take long for y'all to start boning in this situation, I think. And, like,
not at all.
You would see. You'd be open to a longer term thing, you know, like, but maybe after the third time you guys had sex, if he said something like, I don't think certain people are people or whatever, you'd be like, oh, well, this was fun, but I'm out. But you're going to ride that train, pun intended, as long as he's not weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, Todd, I'm going to tell you how this going to go, right? We're going to meet. He's going to be like, can you give me that microchip? And I'm going to be like, anything you want, King. And then he's like...
and you're like, I meat pocketed it. You got to go get it.
You got to go get it. With your tongue, please. But then he's going to shoot me. And that's going to be... and I'm going to be like...
So you're saying he's into like a necrophilia fetish?
No, I'm saying that I'm going to immediately get killed because I was distracted by hotness. This is my weakness.
For sure.
This is my cross to bear.
Yeah, for sure that would happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Where I'd just be like, I trust him. And they're like, he's literally torturing you right now. Like that, it would be a problem because she gets lucky that he is a good guy.
Yeah, like real lucky.
Real lucky. But those are my main problems with the movie is that it becomes impersonal and unrealistic in a way that removes the audience from like actually empathizing and feeling with their characters. And the pacing is real bad.
Yeah, I can summarize the pacing thing pretty quickly in my mind because it is just a movie that's doing too much.
Yes.
It is a metaphor movie for what it's like after a breakup, but also enemies to lovers because her and Outlander go enemies to lovers trope, right? So it's like two tropes making the movie too long because instead of 3 acts, you have sort of 4.
Yeah.
And it feels weird. Like I don't know. It just feels disjointed and it feels long. Like when they were about to kill Chrome Barbie, or I thought they were, you know, when the grenade blows up or whatever.
Right.
I thought we had 20 minutes left at that point and I paused it because I had to take my dogs out really quick.
Timing wise, we should.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like beat for beat, we're like at a 90-minute movie pace, about 20 minutes left on the end of that and you're good, right?
Right.
And then when I came back from walking my dogs, I hit start and it was like 58 minutes left. And I was like, oh, I got to text Paige immediately because I'm going to be 30 minutes late. And then
it's all good.
And then I realized that we had a whole nother trope to get through. And it was just a longer sort of movie and it makes it feel very long. But I really enjoy a lot of it because it is very funny.
Yeah.
Like I even find Mila Kunis very funny in the movie, even though I think Kate McKinnon is there to do like the heavy lifting on that.
Yes. Yeah.
And she does. Like she is great. The one thing I'll say about Kate McKinnon in this movie that I was surprised by was when she did the emotional scene. It really came through. I think she crushed it.
Oh, where people say that I'm a lot. It's not the first time I've heard that. I actually really like that scene.
Me too.
I think they make her crazier to try and justify that scene, and they don't need to.
Yeah.
Because she is a lot, and it's enough to understand that would have been hurtful. Yeah.
But I really thought, and this is largely just because she's on SNL and she's like, she does movies like this.
Right.
That are like comedies. You don't really see her emote like this a lot. And man, I think she crushed it.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say with that is she probably could do this forever. I just had never seen her do it, you know, and it was cool to see.
Yeah, of course.
But she's great. I also do Australian people call fanny packs bum bags? And why don't we call them that?
British people do.
It's way better. Oh, is it British people too? I mean, that's...
British people do, yeah.
Why don't we call them that? That's way better than fanny pack.
Well, so the reason it's a body name reason because in America, fanny means butt. And fanny pack would be potentially around your waist, sitting on your hips.
Oh, I know this. I actually do know this, yeah.
And other places do not refer to fanny as butt.
Let's just say it's like a word that if Mikey was British, he would use for the P word.
Yeah. But so that's why it's bum bag. Just like it's fanny pack for us, it's bum bag for other people because it's, butt.
Bum bag is way better. I'm going to start calling them bum bags.
I do think it's weird that most people wear fanny packs front facing, but we refer to them as like butt bags. Like who wears it backwards like that?
I've seen runners do it, but that's pretty much it, honestly.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But guys, bum bags, get into it. I have to say this really quick before we get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Paige, you live in LA.
Yes, I do.
I get this a lot in Nashville too.
Uh-huh.
When the Uber driver was like, oh, I'm not just an Uber driver, I'm also a DJ. I was like, of course you are.
Yes.
That's like 80% of Uber drivers that I meet.
Yes.
But for me, it's like singer-songwriters.
I wish he came back later in the movie because he's hilarious, but yes.
Paige, that featured extra is the luckiest person.
So funny.
He's very funny too. Also very lucky because for like a day at least, Mila Kunis was just sitting in his lap and he was getting paid money for that.
Right, while he's pretending to be unconscious. Yes.
Or dead. I think he got shot in the forehead. Like he had red paint on his head.
He gets shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So like he is just, got Mila Kunis on his lap all day and he's making whatever the
All
day
day.
rate is, which ain't bad. I'd take it.
Absolutely. That's a great day on set.
I know. He's like, hey, I booked a movie. Oh, really? What movie? I don't care. Mila Kunis is going to sit on my lap all day.
Yeah. In LA, it's actor or DJ.
Yeah, so here it's singer-songwriter. Although, Paige, I actually sent you a text on my way to the airport once because I had like a crazy like Uber experience. And it was sort of, quote, DJ.
Right.
But I got to tell you the story real quick. I meant to tell you like right when it happened on an episode, but I never got to.
I remember you were like, remind me to tell you, and then we never got a chance.
And I kept forgetting, but it sort of makes sense in this moment, so I'm going to say it.
Go for it.
I got on this guy's Uber, and we started talking. I was like, what do you do? What do you do? And we started talking about like, because I played music for a while. He currently is on the road as a drummer. He's also a songwriter. So we like connected over that, right? And I was like, so what's like the craziest Uber experience you've had? Because I've driven Uber and he's driving, right?
Right.
And he was like, you'll never believe this, but I met one of the guys who like decides what music is going to be the NFL's song for next year in my car.
Okay.
And I was like, really? In your car? And he was like, well, actually his wife. So he dropped his wife off somewhere and he was talking to that guy's wife
Okay.
in the car. Whatever. I'm going to skip to the end.
Okay.
That guy who I was riding in the car with, the guy who was driving me,
Yeah.
he and the guy he's on the road with, I can't say the name because I'm not supposed to know this. They wrote next year's NFL theme song, and he let me hear it.
Basketball, gimme the ball, cause I'm gonna dunk it. Yeah.
No, it's like the NFL does like an actual song every year as like their song.
Yeah. Fall Out Boy usually plays it. Yeah.
So like I don't know if Fall Out Boy is going to record this, but he let me hear like the demo version they recorded, and it slapped, man.
Okay.
It was pretty great.
Nice.
But I was like, why are you driving Uber? And he was like, because we just signed contracts 2 weeks ago and the check has not come in.
Has not cleared yet.
But I was like, oh my God, bro, this is so awesome for you. And he was like, I know. I don't want to talk about it though, because it's so fresh. I have no idea what's happening in my life.
Oh my God. I'm so happy for him.
It was such a crazy fun ride because it was like, I was talking to somebody who's like on a rocket at the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, bro, I'm so excited for you. And I just hope everything goes well for that guy.
I have the opposite version of that story.
I have the opposite version of that story too, Paige. There are a lot of people driving Uber, myself included when I was doing it, that are at their bottom.
I drove for Lyft and Uber for a while, mostly Lyft. And one time I picked up a guy at Burbank Airport. And I was like a chatty Uber driver or Lyft driver. Like if they had the silence option back then, I would have failed. But so I'm driving and I'm just like, what do you do or whatever? And he's like, oh, I'm a writer. And I'm like, oh, like what kind? Like journalist, whatever. He's like, no, I'm a screenwriter. I was like, that's incredible. What have you written that I've seen? And he's like, well, I had like one big hit, but like people kind of make fun of it now, and it's actually a good movie if people would actually like just give it another chance. And I'm like, what did you write? And this is the man who wrote Deep Blue Sea.
No, Paige, what? You had Deep Blue Sea in your car?
Yes. And I
Who
was
you
like,
gonna trust?
oh my God. And I was like, deepest, bluest. I was like, that movie fucking slaps. Yeah, like, bro. And he was like, yeah, no, everyone, like, it's not really a comedy.
Oh, don't break my heart,
so
Paige. Come
serious
on.
about it. He was so serious about it. And he was so sad. I was like, oh my God, how did this get made? Just did that. And he's like, well, I wish they would have called me to be on it. And I was like, that's not really how it works, man. But like,
yeah, that's not how that thing works.
just know that people do love your movie.
Yes. And I'm sorry that it is somewhat funny, but I love the movie, man. It's great. But yeah, anyway, I thought it was really funny that the Uber driver was also in the entertainment industry for that city or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was very funny.
Yeah.
I also like the lady who's like the gymnast, the Russian gymnast villain. I don't know what to call her. I'm going to call her Chrome Barbie because her hair is chrome. She's wearing all chrome. She's only driving chrome.
Yeah.
And her guns, Not Chrome.
Not
Which I
Chrome.
thought was a missed opportunity. I did.
I love that her best friend is the balance beam. She is high camp, and I'm okay with it.
I honestly, yeah, I was here for it.
Yeah, I'm here for it. And for her trainers /
Drew's quote parents.
arms dealers.
Yeah.
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 I thought that was really funny as well.
I mean,
Yeah.
they pretty much like take the like Eastern Europe gymnastics coach trope,
Yes.
where it's two like older people, usually a couple, training young girls. Like they take that trope and it's like that.
It's the Carollis. Yes.
It 100% is the Carollis. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yes.
But Paige, maybe we should just like get through this movie scene by scene because there are a lot of them, but a lot of them are action. So it's going to be kind of quick to talk about, I think.
Yeah, I honestly, as I remember this was slightly longer, and then you were like, I need more time. I'm like, no problem, because we're not going to have a lot to talk about. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But we open in Lithuania, which is a fun departure because most movies would make this Romania. And I feel like they just decided to, control F Lithuania for this one. But regardless, it is gray Eastern Bloc and Russian speaking because Americans don't differentiate.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question. And this is not something I noticed until this viewing. Because Justin Theroux, a.k.a. Drew, who is her boyfriend, who is the spy, is in a market clearly waiting for a buyer or a mark or something.
Yeah.
And he has no weapons. Why does this man have no gun?
Because he's a bad spy? I don't know. I mean, there could be
Yeah.
reasons for that, like security or whatever, but like, yeah, I don't know. I would definitely want a gun on me if I was a spy. But guys, I'm not a spy.
I'm not a spy. Yeah. Just put me in the face-off machine. I know you've got one. God, Spy is such a good fucking movie.
Honestly, your British accent, flawless.
Flawless. I can't wait till you get to watch Melissa McCarthy just bitch slap a Swedish guy and just yell, "You Swedish fish, motherfucker!" It's one of my favorite movies. I love Spy. I rewatched it recently. It gets better every time.
I can't wait. Also, Swedish fish, so good. They're like my favorite gummy candy.
Here's the trick, though. Are you a sour candy person as well?
No.
Okay, never mind that. I was about to give you a pro tip, but if you don't like sour, don't worry about it.
Well, I mean, we probably have listeners that like a little bit of sour in their life.
Hey, listeners.
Yeah.
Get Sour Patch Kids or Sour Patch Watermelons, anything that's got the sour dust on it, and put it in the same bag with a bunch of Swedish fish and shake that shit up. And it will trickle some of that sour onto the Swedish fish. So your Sour Patch Kids are still pretty sour, but then you've got sour Swedish fish, dog. It's great.
They call those bayou fish.
Yep.
Because they sour.
Because they sour. Also, eat Chipotle with Doritos. Thank me later.
I can thank you now because I have done that at your suggestion, and it was great.
It's so fucking good, right?
It was good.
Anyway, he ain't got no gun, but people are clearly following him. Meanwhile, we cut back to America, where Mila Kunis is having a sad birthday, where Kate McKinnon, her best friend, is trying to like hype her up and have a fun birthday, but her boyfriend's not there. She's upset. She's not having a good time.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like they were broken up already, her and her boyfriend, Drew. Yeah.
They are. He has now broken up with her via text, and she is at her birthday party literally days later.
Yeah, I mean, and she's just like playing duck hunt, which lets you know that like she's going to be great at shooting a gun later in this movie for no reason.
Yes.
But that's when like Kate McKinnon comes out singing Happy Birthday. And I was like, oh, this is her at her most Molly Shannon.
Yes.
Because she does slowly become Black Widow throughout this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the Rita Ora Black Widow song that's not good and not fun. You know what I mean? Anyway, back to Lithuania, because somebody at the birthday party is like, hey, where is your boyfriend anyway? Smash cut to Lithuania.
Yeah.
Where he is like parkouring through an apartment building. He gets into an apartment, punches through the wall because he's hidden something in the wall. He like parkours his way back. He puts a bomb in a microwave.
We've all been there.
He steals a Vespa.
Can I just say this before we meanwhile back to?
Yes.
The jump out the balcony onto the moving van below.
Yes.
Of course it's like special effects and he was, I'm sure, on a wire or whatever. But it looked cool. It's rare that you get a shot like that in a movie where the camera follows
you
out.
out.
It was so cool. Yeah, I really liked it.
It was great. But meanwhile, we cut back to the birthday party where they have met a creepy dude named Victor at the bar who is hitting on people and not doing great. Because he tries to hit on Kate McKinnon. He's like, you have doll face. And she's like, this is not working for me, but come talk to my friend. And he's like, you have baby eyes and very supple udders. And she's just like, no, this is bad. I don't don't like this.
Oh, you didn't like when he mentioned her udders? What could he have been talking about that wouldn't have been offensive, Paige?
Right.
But this is the guy who later sends Kate McKinnon 2 dick pics that she then forwards to her mom, and she definitely had sex with this dude.
Oh, we got to talk about that when that happens.
No, Paige, yeah, she definitely fucked this guy. But we're gonna move.
100.
We're gonna move into it. We'll talk about it later.
I have a whole theory on that. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, somebody else at the party is like, "Where's Drew?" And Kate McKinnon just goes, "He drowned," because she's trying to teach Mila Kunis how to lie.
Yes.
And she's like, just say something short and bonkers and leave and get out of there. So it's like, where's Drew? He drowned.
Yeah, I love her example was like, here, ask me how I've been doing. And so Mila Kunis is like, how I've been doing? Oh, I got a boat. And then you stop talking and walk away.
I bought a boat.
It's just such a funny line.
But this is where she reveals that she's like, yeah, he left. He texted me and I got a box of his shit and I don't know what to do with it and he won't come back and get it. And at this point, Kate McKinnon is like, oh, perfect. Give me your phone. She scrolls through an insane amount of texts.
It's a lot.
And then just texts him and is like, hey, asshole, we're about to go burn all your shit.
I'm going to set your
Bye.
shit on fire if you don't come get it today or tomorrow or whatever, you know?
Yes.
We also, in this scene, meet Tess the first time.
Yes.
And I loved Tess, even though she's in the movie for 2 seconds so much. I remembered her name.
She has 2 scenes and they're both great.
Yeah.
They're both great.
Because she is like the perfect, like, friend who hates you.
So funny.
I loved her like so much. She's so good. I haven't seen this actress, I don't think, in anything, and I want her to be in so much more.
I feel like I have seen her. I just can't remember where, and I meant to look it up and just have not had time.
I did look it up, and she has been in stuff. I just have missed it.
Okay.
So, like, it's not that she's not a known person. She definitely is. I just have not seen any of it.
But essentially, she's that friend who is your friend but is jealous of you.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah. Which, like, I don't have any close friends like this anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes, but you probably did, like, in high school and college, whether you knew it fully or not, you know?
Yes. I feel like now these people exist in my life on the periphery where it's like, they are acquaintances, but not people I would call friends, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, she talks about Mila Kunis like terribly. I would not want to be friends with this person either.
Yeah.
After watching the many outtakes that she gave for the news at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God,
I loved
so
them though.
good.
Like she was so good at delivering that kind of line. She was crushing it.
I love that the one that they went with was she doesn't even have a bed frame. And I was
Yes.
like, that's such a specific diss.
I know.
That's such a specific complaint. And I love it so much. And I just love Kate McKinnon being like, box spring counts. A box spring counts.
Yeah, you can count it.
But in this one, she does. And I have had friends that are not jealous of me have almost this exact conversation with me, not realizing how wildly offensive it is, where she's like, hey, where's your boyfriend? He's not here. You know, I always thought you guys were kind of a weird couple. I don't think you guys went together.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he seems like he'd be with someone cool. I called a friend on this while they were having this conversation with me where he was like, man, your husband is so fucking hot. How did you do that? I was like, me? An uggo like me? How did I do that? Well, and he was like, that's not what I was saying. I was like, that's exactly what you were saying.
Paige, 2 things. First off, if this ever happens to you, please do drop into the sleepaway camp mother like tone and affect, because that's hilarious. But also, I was last week, you know this because we recorded an episode from my hotel room, but I was at a 4-day employee conference that I had to plan, and I was there all week. And
you brought Natalie.
Because I was there all week, Natalie came down. Yeah, exactly. So Natalie came down after I'd been there for like 2 days. And every time she met a new coworker, they all were like, hey, you're really, really attractive. Did you know that like you're really attractive? And then the next time I saw them without Natalie around, they were like, bro, your wife's hot. Like, it's like,
like, how'd that happen?
like they said a statement with a big ass question on the end because the question they didn't want to ask is how?
How?
So like, I understand what it's like to be the least attractive spouse or partner in the couple.
Bag.
Yeah.
I just started like aggressively whenever people do it, just being like, because I'm ugly. Oh, because you don't think that. Like,
I mean, that's how that makes me feel though. And I'm like, I get it though. Cause it's
Paige. Super fun for me.
Paige.
It's really fun for me to watch them be uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, that's fun. I do think they're right, though. Like, I do think Natalie's the hot one out of our couple.
I mean, yes, Jake is hot. I feel like I'm hot in my own way.
Yes, Paige, 100%.
Call the fisherman, I'm a catch.
And I am grateful that Natalie values other things than looks.
No. Boo. But you have so many jackets. How could she not want that?
Can I just say, Tess was wearing a red leather jacket when you first meet her, and I was like, I feel attacked by this garment choice.
By this jacket?
Because I am not this friend. I am the friend who's like, you know what? I'll give you an example. I have a coworker who was a good friend of mine. I've worked with him for 7 years. And at one of our mandatory outing events, one of the girls who was in my mini golf group seemed single. And I know my coworker friend is single. So I was just like, hey, have you met my coworker Brandon? He's a great single dad. And he's just wonderful. Like he's always single. He's just doing great shit. Like, and I kept talking him up. And she slacked him and asked for his phone number. I'm just saying, I am the kind of guy who talks people up. I would never shit on you.
Good wingman.
Yes.
Good wingman.
100%.
So we cut to Lithuania, where he gets that text, and he's like, "No, she's gonna burn my shit. Damn it!"
Also, the fact that he gives a shit, because in this cut to his side of the text conversation, he is punching a hole in the wall to get passports and guns out of it.
Right.
So that he can flee the people who are trying to kill him. I gotta be honest with you, if my ex sent me a text saying I'm gonna burn your shit, I'd be like, okay, I'll deal with that if I survive, I guess. I don't give a shit right now.
Well, I think the only reason he gives a shit is because the thing that he's trying to sell that they're chasing him for is in that box.
That is true, yeah. And he is in on it, right? He's one of the, quote, bad guys.
Right. But we cut back to them burning his stuff. And I love the things that they're burning, where it's gross underwear and then a list of the best breakfast burritos in Los Angeles with a good egg to tortilla ratio.
Honestly, the fact that they were making fun of that was insane to me.
Jake has a list.
Yeah, I forget sometimes where I got something that was good. So I have a note on my phone.
I have a spreadsheet.
And I'm like, this is what you love to get this.
I keep a spreadsheet of all of A, the restaurants I want to try in places I have not been yet, and B, places we've been that were delicious.
Yeah.
I'm so committed to it. I'm doing admin work.
It's a lifestyle choice.
Yes. I used to have an app on my phone that would tell me if you were ever close to restaurants that had been on diners, drive-ins, and dives. And it never steered me wrong.
Well, hopefully it didn't steer you at all, because it's not a driving app. But I do feel sort of obligated to say this, guys, if you have shit stains in your underwear, wash your ass. What are you doing? You're an adult man. That's insane to me.
They need to wash their ass.
If you have the flu and you I don't know, are in bed and you cough and shit comes, that's different. You're sick.
Yep.
That happens.
Yeah.
But
no, it's implied that this is a regular thing with his underwear, and sir, get some wipes.
The man doesn't wash his ass.
Yeah.
The shit's back. Wash your ass. It's insane.
Get a bidet.
That'll be the bidet. I actually love bidets. They're amazing.
The bidet in the rat-infested Airbnb, they were Australian, and so they just had stickers on that said, bidet, mate.
That is the kind of comedy I need out of my Airbnb.
And then I did not adjust the pressure on that water well, and I was like, ooh, the first couple times. But you know what? Underwear clean.
Paige, if you're making that sound while using a bidet, you're not washing your ass. You're playing something.
It was straight at the butthole. Just
Paige, are you ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that are making eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes. You can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfasts, and grab-and-go snacks. And honestly, there's a lot of more add-ons too. That are great. You should check them out. They're pretty great. They have 40 options across I think it's 8 dietary preferences. Don't fact check me on that. It's something like that, though. But you can check on their menu each week. It's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals because you can choose from things like Calorie Smart or Keto, or I think they have a Protein Plus one too. And the best thing is Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, which is perfect for any like active, super busy lifestyle, which is why it's so great for me. So eat smart with Factor by getting started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's like half off your first box and free shipping, guys. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping off your first box. Do it. Look, I love a dramatic love story as much as the next person, but can we talk about how much time Allie wasted waiting around for a letter that never came? You know what might have solved the whole mess? A reliable phone plan. If Allie had Mint Mobile, she would have received like a wall of text every day for 365 days straight, clearly letting her know that it was time to block Noah because my guy has some serious attachment issues. And hey, she could have saved all that money on her overpriced wireless plan and used it to move like far, far away from both Noah and the man she married. Yeah, I double-checked it. She was married when she rekindled things with Noah. That junk is messy. Anyway, Mint Mobile gets it. The premium wireless starts at just $15 a month. You get high-speed data, unlimited talk and text, and it's all on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone, keep your number, and avoid your ex who's building a house out of spite. Stop saying it wasn't over, it's still not over to your current overpriced wireless plan. Say, this should have been over years ago and get with Mint Mobile. Get 3 months of premium wireless from Mint Mobile for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/romancingthepod. That's mintmobile.com/romancingthepod. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5GB plan required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Anyway, they're about to burn his second place fantasy football trophy when he calls and is like, please, oh my God, please don't burn the shit. Please don't burn my shit. I will be there tomorrow. Hangs up. He explodes that apartment with something in the microwave.
Yeah.
Then we cut to 1 year ago, and this is our first flashback of them meeting on her birthday. Now, you could have had just this flashback with almost nothing else, and this would have been enough.
Yeah, I think so. Because this shows the start of their relationship and that it was good.
Yeah.
We already know the bad because we've heard it all from Mila Kunis in the first 10 minutes or whatever. These first little
Right.
Honestly, it's the cold open. We've heard it all in the cold open.
Right.
I agree.
But I do love that this is where they're trying to pick the worst song in the jukebox, and he picks the
Yeah, it's Crash Test Dummies.
That's what it was. I couldn't remember who it was.
Which is probably the worst song on that jukebox.
Yeah, it's a weird song.
Yeah.
Weird song. But then we cut to modern day of her working at Trader Joe's, but not Trader Joe's, but it's definitely Trader Joe's.
Yes. And Outlander walks up to her register and
buys a pack of gum.
Yeah. And then he's like, you want to walk me to my car? And I guess Mila Kunis is just so hot. This happens to her all the time. So she's like, yeah, this is normal. And she goes out to his car with him. Or maybe it's just because Outlander is so hot. And she's like, well, I'm single. So
I think it's that.
Even if he wants to kidnap me in a van, it probably will be worth it.
Well, this is this is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. This is one where I think the lines are perfect. The pacing is perfect.
I do think this is very funny. Yeah.
This one scene cracks me up. And he asks her to help him with his groceries out to the car, which he's only bought that one thing of gum, right?
Yeah.
But A, customer service obligates you to help people. But B, he's hot. So I think she's like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Right. So they walk out to the car. I do love that she's like, so where are you from? And he's like, England. And she's just like, oh, good. Because sometimes people turn out to be Australian. And he's like, sometimes people do turn out to be Australian. Just like in general. But she's like, man, I'm making a bad decision. Like just walking out to the parking lot with a stranger. This is how people get thrown in a van. And then he says, well, that makes this awkward. Get in the van. So good. So funny. But it's him and Hassan Minhaj who revealed that they worked with her boyfriend because they're with the CIA or some sort of undercover operation. We will find out that Outlander is MI6.
It's like a joint task force sort of thing where you've got multiple agencies working together. That's probably happening all the time.
Yes.
Or was.
Yeah. But they do reveal that they've been tailing the two of them for a long time. And she's like, you were in Las Vegas when we saw Celine Dion, ironically, of course. And I was like, oh my God. Is this where he realized that he should be in that Celine Dion movie that we did that one time?
I mean, honestly, probably. He was like, I would make her the goddess of the movie and take any advice she gave me, whether good or bad.
I tried to rewatch that the other day and I was like, I can't. I can't. I have told many people about it though.
I mean, it's a movie you should watch once, yeah.
Yeah. But so she admits that she talked to Drew last night because she threatened to burn his shit. But they haven't talked since. Now, this is something I did not think about till this movie, but they seem to just drop her off at home.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, like, they would never let her out of their sight.
No,
like,
they wouldn't because they think she has the thing, right? The flash drive.
Right. Now, here is the thing. They drop her off at home and she is home for all of 10 seconds before they're in her apartment, you know? So like,
yeah.
I think they never intended to let her actually go. They were just going to scoop her back up. But
yeah,
she gets into the apartment and I do think you're right. I do think that Kate McKinnon banged Victor and is trying to make it seem like she didn't. Because her story is, oh, I left my driver's license at the bar and he brought it back to me because like DMV kill me. And I'm like, I get it. And she's like, but I'm using this to teach him about feminism. And he just walks into the room and it just says, there's no limit to what we women can achieve. Michelle Obama. And I'm like, what a quote. But then he just says, I'm going to go take a shower, which like, if he just came to drop off his license, that's not a thing that would happen.
Right. And it's the morning, right?
It's morning.
This is the morning after we saw him last. Like, I think they had sex last night. He brought that ID to her last night.
Yes.
And then satiated what her id actually wanted. And that was what sounds like some uncircumcised D.
Yeah, it does sound uncircumcised because she did send the photos to her mom, who we will eventually reveal is Jane Curtin.
I know. I love Jane Curtin of SNL's Jane, you ignorant slut joke, which...
Yes. Of Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, she was one of the first cast members of SNL. She's like comedy royalty in my mind.
Yes. And picturing her getting the dick pics and critiquing them, endlessly funny.
100% it was her and Paul Reiser, but it was only her texting.
Critiquing them together. Yes, 100%. But I love that Kate McKinnon in this moment is like, what? Everybody does this. I'm like, they do not. They do not.
No. Raise your hand if you've ever sent a dick pic to your own parents. Not by mistake. Oh my God, by mistake would be a nightmare. Holy shit.
Oh my God, terrible. Yeah, you see no hands raised on this podcast, right? Right?
No. Although every year on my dad's birthday, because he's no longer with us, I send his former number a dick pic.
I love that.
The police have asked me to stop. I mean, obviously that's all a joke. I would never do that.
Oh, that'd be fun. But yeah, so she's constantly said she is too attached to her parents, but it's because her parents are awesome. And as someone with awesome parents, I get it. I just wouldn't send my parents dick pics.
Right.
You know, I have informed them about some of my like jokes that I like to send my husband, where I like to send in a picture of like one really zoomed in nipple and that's it. And be like, you like that?
You know what's funny? Like, I'm sure he does like that because it's like hilarious, but it's not like in a sexy way, probably. I mean, it might be. I don't know what Jake's into, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he's probably like, this is the fucking reason I married this lady. Like, it's just fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Do it. Send bad nudes to your significant other. Just like, is this super blurry?
Spoken as a dude who has a way hotter wife, which we've already established on this episode, I would take any bad sexy pictures Natalie sent me because she's gorgeous, no matter what position she's in.
Yeah, even with just one super zoomed in nipple.
Would
like
take
that?
Fully.
You like feet?
She'd be like, are these my butt cheeks or is it the fold between my elbow?
Yeah.
You'll never know.
Who's to say?
Zoom will never tell. And by that I meant the Zoom on the camera, not the Zoom on, like, conferencing system.
Yeah. Anyway, meanwhile, as they're having this conversation, she's like, shut up about the dick pics. My ex-boyfriend was a spy. She's like, spy? He used to say library. But they're comparing some things about his story that don't add up.
Right.
Great. When he shows up and is like, why does all my stuff smell like lighter fluid? And they're like, what? No reason.
No, they're like, because we were about to set it on fire when you called. They were honest. They're like,
yes, yeah.
You fucking played games and we almost burned you. Like, you're lucky you called.
Right. And they're like, I know you're a spy. spy. They showed up at my work. And he then does this whole production of like, okay, there's a flash drive in the bottom of this trophy. Or no, he doesn't tell her. He just hands her the trophy.
Yes.
They find it later. Yes.
He's like, keep this. I love this. It's like, I need this protected or whatever. Take this to whoever.
Yeah. Stay away from windows. He gives her all these directions like Cafe Sheila in Vienna. And she's like, why are you telling me these directions if you'll be there? And he's like, just in case I don't make it, don't trust anybody.
Oh, that's right. This is where he says 11 a.m. Cafe Sheila and the name Vern.
Vern.
Yeah.
But as they're having this conversation, who should pop out of the shower hanging brain but Victor, who's just like, Das Vidania, Drew. And you're like, oh my God. He shoots, we think he shoots Justin Theroux.
Right.
And then Kate McKinnon tosses him over a balcony where he definitely dies. And they're like, oh my God, get out the fire escape as the SWAT team is coming in.
Yeah.
They make it out. They get into the car.
I love that they're like running down the street like, oh my God, like as they're running away. And like, we come to find out Kate McKinnon's like crazy in this movie. So like,
yes,
in hindsight, I'm sure this is not the first time she's killed an ex-lover.
I don't think so either. I feel like we may find out that they both kill way too easy.
Yeah.
Which that is something that I think Spy tackles really well. We'll get to it next week. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we will.
But they get in the car and they're like, what are we going to do? And I do love that Kate McKinnon's like, yeah, let's just go to Vienna, which, by the way, round trip tickets day of to Vienna, like $2,000. I think there's a missing scene where Kate McKinnon's parents bought them tickets.
Are like rich as shit or something?
I think they are, because her dad's like a lawyer and like...
I mean, Paul Reiser's got that mad about you money, so he's doing all right.
Yeah. But she's like, do you want to die having never been to Europe or die having been to Europe? And their passports are in the car. And so they're like, let's just go.
Let's just drive to Europe.
Let's drive to LAX and then to Europe. I do love that they park in Lot C, which is a joke just for LA people, because Lot C is 1.5 miles away from the airport.
Well, they clearly have to take a bus. Yeah. They show you that in the movie. Yeah. I mean, we have that stuff here at good old B&A, which is our airport code. I fly too much, guys.
Yep. Anyway, they get to...
Dave, don't change the timing at all on page. That was so perfect. Holy shit. Okay.
They get to the airport, and this is...
Hit me with the fucking queen. I loved it.
This next scene is a fantastic Nick Kroll joke that I feel like has to be a nod to Nick Kroll, because Nick Kroll had a bit, because Nick Kroll does stand up. And
I'm sorry, who are we talking about?
Nick Kroll.
Oh, yeah, no, I forgot. You said his name like 40 times. Yeah, tell me about Nick Kroll's joke.
Said it 40 times. But he has a joke about drunk packing before a vacation.
Oh, yeah, I've heard this. Yeah.
And being like, oh, I'll just get a suitcase at the airport. Because, like, why do they sell suitcases at the airport?
Right.
You're already at the airport. And it's because you might end up like me, where I've been traveling. I travel too much. I'm in 3 different cities in the next week and a half. But that means that my suitcases are getting a workout. And literally on 2 consecutive trips, the rubber on the wheel of one of my suitcases just burned out like a tire, just like melted across the floor of the airport. And it happened twice, 2 trips in a row. Anyway, that's why they sell suitcases at the airport. So they go to the airport and they buy a suitcase and fill it with trophies, which might seem weird unless you've been to Los Angeles and know that they do sell fake Oscars at the airport.
100% they do. And also everywhere else in LA. Like you could buy those everywhere in LA.
And best grandson. It is one of those things that like seems unlikely unless you've been here and you're like, wow, at Ralph's? And I know that they do it at the grocery store because we've bought a best grandpa one for a friend at a grocery store one time where we were like, we got to pick up soda for the party. There's Diet Mountain Dew and they're out of Diet Coke, but they do have a best grandpa statue. Let's go. Anyway, we cut to them going through TSA. And at this point, she's like, just be confident. Like confident people never get stops. And she just goes, oh, I usually deal with Cesar. As if she's got like a normal TSA person. Crazy.
Yeah.
But while they're in line, they're like, oh my God, we should destroy our phones. We don't want them to track us.
I did love that this scene ends with like her jumping like a child having a tantrum onto their phone.
So good.
Like both feet in the air at the same time, landing on both phones. I'm shocked she didn't slip on them, honestly.
Not only that, I'm shocked they broke because like for as flimsy as phones can be, it takes a lot of force to like truly wreck a phone beyond use these days.
Oh, you can crack a screen way easier than you could break a phone. You know what I'm saying? Breaking a phone is like what you would have to do to achieve what they're trying to achieve, I guess.
Right.
But like, I could break a phone by stepping on it once. You got to like really work to break it.
Right. Oh, and that's why like they usually have spies have like flip burner phones because you can crack them in half. But like a smartphone, it's like, good luck, man. Like you need a hammer.
Yeah, I've seen someone run over an iPhone and all they had to do was replace the screen because the phone still worked. The screen was completely wrecked. But yeah.
Oof. Anyway, this is where she reveals that she went to like sleepaway camp with Edward Snowden and they had like a summer romance. Anyway, they get on the plane. We have another flashback.
Yes.
This is where he picks the worst song.
Yes.
But he does say, he's like, I'm in Europe all the time. And it feels like in Europe, they were like, man, I love 1994. Let's just stay here. And having been to a lot of Europe, that's correct.
Yeah, it's fair.
Y'all do be loving the 90s. I don't hate it. But like, it does seem like the 90s over there. In the best ways, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, they arrive in Vienna. And I do love that they get to the airport. And she's just like, man, they're making a real big deal about Beethoven being from here and not Hitler being
right?
from here.
Well, she's holding a Beethoven hat that she bought, I think.
Yes.
I did think that was very funny, yeah.
But they make it to Cafe Sheila, where Kate McKinnon is like, this was a lot of dairy and flour and sugar for me. I need to go have diarrhea. We get it. We're a women in our 30s. And the waitress comes to serve them. Now, what we will find out is that waitress is Vern, but we don't know that yet. But instead, Outlander comes and sits at the table and he's like, I'm the one you're supposed to meet. I'm Vern. Here's a gun. Hand over the trophy.
Right.
Meanwhile, in the bathroom, Kate McKinnon meets Vern. She's like, you're Vern. Oh my God. So she's trying to like hand motion Mila Kunis to be like, Outlander's not Vern. There's another lady that's Vern. And eventually she just yells out, that's not Vern.
Right.
Which essentially starts a massive shootout in this like cafe, resulting in Outlander drowning a man in cheese fondue.
I mean, it is true. But it goes from like Outlander sitting down and pointing a gun at Mila Kunis's crotch to them running away from this very swanky hotel.
We killed people.
Yes.
We killed someone.
Yeah.
Quit shouting it.
Because this is the scene where Mila Kunis does shoot somebody, right?
She duck hunts a guy right in the chest.
You know, thank God she's been training since, I don't know, the original Nintendo for this moment.
Okay, but here's what I needed.
Yeah.
If you were going to make duck hunt that big of a deal, I need her to grab that gun, lock in, and to hear the duck hunt sounds.
Like the quack quack or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then I would get it, you know, and their face turns to like the duck with the pixely arms. Anyway, our wings, they're not arms, they're wings. I know it, guys.
Right.
But I do love when they run out of there and they carjack that car that's stick and they can't drive stick. So it just like rolls down the slight hill and bumps a magazine stand that falls over. And then they just run out of it. It's so funny.
Let me break this down. This is the funniest carjacking ever on film. Because they're like, what do we do? What do we do? Let's just, hey, I'm sorry. We need this. It's an emergency. And then they get in the car, but because they can't drive stick, they still haven't started the car. So the people they have carjacked are outside and they're just like, pardon-moi, excuse me, please. Like, they're just like politely knocking. And then they start the car, but they can't get it going because they don't drive stick. And the people are just walking alongside them, smacking the window like, excuse me, the brake. And then they hit that magazine and then they just run away. But they find a taxi. They get in.
Yeah.
Some sort of reserved taxi, I would say. I don't know if it's Uber or whatever, but he just goes, are you Mr. Yang? And they're like, yes, get in.
But Mila Kunis, because she, quote, can't lie and gives too much detail, she like gives her parents' backstory.
Yeah.
Because she's bad at lying.
Right.
This is part of her growth in the movie where she learns to be manipulative and lie.
Yeah. But I love that this driver starts out and he's like, I'm actually a DJ. I don't know what you guys are doing tomorrow night, but I'm spinning it, whatever. And then a car starts following and shooting at them.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, please drive. Which I love this in this movie because so many times in action movies or spy movies, a taxi driver is tasked with doing a full-scale car chase.
Right.
And they're just like, oh my God, what is happening to me? This guy is like, fuck yeah, fear is an illusion. I took so much meth today. And he is just in this car chase. And at one point he just goes, high five, like, yay, we're in it together. And that's when he gets shot in the head.
Yeah.
But then Mila Kunis hops onto his lap and she's driving. But then she does something that I have never thought about in a movie ever. And when they bring it up in this movie, now I can never unthink it. It's the funniest thing in the world because she's using her turn signal. And Kate McKinnon's like, stop using the turn signal. You're telling them where we're going.
Literally.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah.
But as they're kind of scrambling in the car, Kate McKinnon climbs into the front because now the front seat is open and accidentally uses her foot to pull the e-brake. The van stops. The guy shooting them from a motorcycle behind them hits them and is flung onto the top of the car. Then he's trying to shoot down into the top of the car. They shake him off.
Yeah.
They make it to the train station. Or no, I'm sorry, they crash. And they get out and they're like, who did this? Who killed all these people? And then they just run away to the train station.
I thought that shit was very funny. I do also want to call out that they have they have two motorcycles chasing them, right? One of them hits a car and then when he would fly forward.
Yes, he flies up.
Yeah, it's clear he was just on a wire, and as he hits the car, he goes straight up and then down. And I was like, that's hilarious.
So good.
It legit made me laugh. And also, the guy with the gun, would have killed them, by shooting into the car right there. But everything stops bullets in this movie, for plot reasons. The cars, windshields, pommel horses, mattresses.
Outlander's chest,
everything. Basically anything.
Yes.
That it doesn't want it to go through. It won't go through. It's fine, guys.
It won't go through. It's fine.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we cut to the Joint Undercover Task Force where Gillian Anderson is like, hey, so you guys are supposed to get this package and instead you got a trophy that said best grandson. Oops.
You're terrible.
You're terrible. And they're like, we can still get them.
Yeah. Did we mention that Patriot Act, or Hassan Minhaj, I called him Patriot Act in my notes, that he is Outlander's kind of partner here?
Yeah, kind of. He was in the van, but his main character trait is constantly mentioning that he's from Harvard, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, he's got real still in Skull and Bones Society energy. So when it's revealed that he is the villain, you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
This tracks. Tracks.
At the end of it all, those are the villains.
Yeah. But they're partners, but they hate each other. And that's established from early on.
Yeah.
And, the movie clearly is isn't he annoying? Look at Outlander. The movie knows.
Yes.
Anyway.
Well, and it seems they're not really they probably don't know each other all that well, even though they're partners on this task force, because Patriot Act is clearly in the CIA on the American side, and he's an MI5. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we cut to the train station. They're trying to get on a train to Prague because they're like, we just need to get out of Austria, out of Vienna.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh my God, if we use our passports, they'll stop us, which I'm like, that didn't stop you on the plane, but fine, whatever. But they try to get girls in the bathroom to switch passports with them.
Yeah.
But they specifically pick hot girls, which I think is really funny.
That was pretty funny. Yeah. And I love that they have to more or less rob these ladies because these ladies are like,
yes.
No.
Yeah.
Which is what you should do if people approach you and ask that.
Right. And they're like, well, we have your address on the bag. We'll mail it back if we survive. We cut to a fashion show in Germany. And this is the first time meeting Nadia, who is our assassin, our gymnastics assassin. And she's at a fashion show. She walks down the runway. She comes off. She gets a phone call and they're like, we have a target. And she's like, great. And the fashion designer is like, hey, you got to get back off the runway. And she just shoots him immediately. But we cut back to a flashback where Morgan, aka Kate McKinnon's character, goes up to Drew, Justin Theroux, and is like, hey, I see that you're kind of hanging with my friend. I like that. I think she needs somebody. This is great. But if you hurt her, I'll cut off your best friend's dick and make you eat it. You can choose whatever condiments you want, but I will make you finish it. And this is where he's like, you're a little much.
Yeah. And I think that he was also like going through his like Rolodex of friends wondering who had the tiniest dick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless you want to make a meal of it and like really grill it up, then maybe you want that Girth Brooks.
I mean, I guess, but like I definitely don't. I definitely don't want to make a meal of it, Paige.
Yeah. Yeah.
What condiment would you use though? Is it just, it's like hot dog condiments or like what are we talking here?
Yeah. I think of it like hot dog condiments. I mean,
Okay.
I like cheese on my hot dogs. That's my thing, is like shredded cheddar.
Who doesn't like cheese?
Right?
Cheese dogs are amazing.
Cheese dogs are amazing, but I feel like if you have to eat someone's dick like a hot dog, chili cheese is your best answer. It's going to hide the most.
I mean, that's probably the right thing. It's like calamari or not calamari, but like oysters, right? You just put as much
Right.
shit on it as you can to make it taste palatable and then scoop it into your mouth and try to not think about snot.
Or corn dog.
Ooh, deep fry that dingle, baby. Let's go. Dingle dogs, let's go. I mean, maybe. That's probably the best way to do it, honestly.
Okay, but also, hey, if you're out there and you're looking for a world-class food truck business idea, dingle dogs,
Call me.
dick-shaped hot dogs.
You won't be able to keep our meat out of your mouth.
Yes!
Come on, guys. The slogans write
Fuck
themselves.
mustard. Anyway, at this point, they're on the train and they shake the trophy. They hear something inside it. So this is where they find out that there is a flash drive in it. But this is also where they call Paul Reiser and Jane Curtin. And they're like, hey, Mom, Dad, we need help. And they're like, yeah, you're on the news. Did you guys murder 2 people? And they're like, yes, but like there are reasons. And they're like, of course, we believe you. You're a wonderful child.
Well, and Paul Reiser is like a rich lawyer. Like that's part of the
Right.
bit, right? So he's just like, oh, it's completely justified. I could definitely get you off for this. Like he's not worried about it at all. It's so funny.
It's nuts. But while that's happening, we cut to the assassin who's told that the targets are 2 dumb American women. And I love that she sees 3 sets of American women doing dumb things.
Yeah.
And it's none of them.
Yeah.
So funny. And it's like one of them's barfing off the dock. One of them is grinding on a statue. And I forget what the first one's doing, but like, it just gets progressively more offensive. But we cut to Prague, where they are now biking to their dad's friend's house, who's going to basically be their safe house. And I love that at first she's using a map of the zoo, but they do find the actual house. He buzzes them in,
Yeah.
and he seems to be giving them like this fun, nice, like fancy dinner. But I do love that at one point he's like, I'm going to retire to the study and read this book. Are you into ballsack? And she just goes, less and less with every experience. But Mila Kunis excuses herself to go to the bathroom where she finds a dead guy in the tub, meaning that the guy that they're talking to is not the friend they were supposed to meet, and they are in danger. And she's trying to swallow the drive. But she's also throwing up. She's clearly drugged. It is not good.
Yeah. I thought that this was a great, like, fun reveal because we don't know this character. It was just someone that Paul Reiser mentioned, right? So we don't know that this is not the person that we're supposed to meet. And he's like poisoning them with stew. I thought it was very funny. But I don't know. I thought it was a really fun way to get to where we go.
Right. Because she tries to get Kate McKinnon to swallow the drive. No one can swallow the drive. But by the
Right.
time that Drew's parents, a.k.a. get there to pick them up, because they pass out in that bathroom. By the time they get them, the drive is nowhere to be found. No one knows where it is. They wake up in a gymnasium with Drew's parents, who are not his parents.
No.
They are a couple who are arms dealers and also gymnastic coaches. But Mila Kunis lies and says, I flushed the drive down the toilet. You can't have it. It's nowhere.
But she is doing a great job lying. She's not giving too many details like
Right.
that where the quote tells that she was lying before.
Right. And so they go to get in the helicopter and they're like, okay, well then murder them.
Yeah.
Because we're getting in the helicopter. You torture them to see if you can get any info, see if they're telling the truth, and bye. And Nadia has this like weird, like, do it like you did in Athens in 2004. Your country wept. That child is gone. And you're like, is she the Winter Soldier? Like, what is happening?
Yeah. I mean, I called her Chrome Barbie, but she is more like crazy. Like, she's just like a Russian spy murderer.
Yeah, like if they had unlocked her with a series of keywords, that would have been even funnier. But meanwhile, the Joint Undercover Task Force has tracked them to the gym. They've missed the chopper with the other 2, but they know the girls and the torture lady are in there. And Hassan Minhaj is like, just blow it up, nougat from orbit. Like, smash it.
You say nuke it from orbit, but what he is saying is grenade the building, which is such a silly thing because they're acting like that's going to kill everyone inside and destroy the building and like cause it to fall to rubble. And it like doesn't. That's not what grenades do. Like they're dangerous, but they're made to take out like personnel. Like it's more shrapnel than anything else.
Well, it's what happens to gymnastics lady ultimately is the purpose. Yeah.
That's when the reveal to me of all this is so funny because the grenade they throw is not even one of the shrapnel producing like potentially lethal grenades. Although I'm sure if one went off close to you, it would kill you. But like that grenade is just a flashbang.
Yeah, they're just flashbangs.
It's just like a phosphorus burn that makes a big sound. Like it's not even designed to kill people.
No.
So like this movie doesn't understand and it's an action movie and that is funny to me.
And essentially Outlander's just like clear. Like he goes full gotta save them.
Dude, when he like runs in and jumps onto the mat and then
snaps a guy's neck midair, fucking lit.
Yeah, as he's like jumping off of the mat, he like pulls the guy up and breaks his neck in the same motion and then double taps the dude. He's like taking out all the guards and then of course that's how he gets them out, but they don't kill, but we think they kill Chrome Barbie.
Well, in order to get into the building, though, he has to essentially incapacitate Hassan Minhaj.
Yes, he does.
Where he like smashes him down on the steering wheel and then pretends to be him and is like, call off the strike, go Crimson. But he goes in. It's awesome and sexy and neck snappy, and he does save them. But again, the grenades start going off. And he has to, like, for a moment, fight Chrome Barbie, who I think dislocates his shoulder or something, because he ends up in a sling after. But they kick a grenade at her, and it explodes. But before that happens, they're like trying to prove they're not lying. And they're like, see, we'll tell you all kinds of stuff about us. Like she texts and drives. She sold her dad's pain pills. She's sexually attracted to the one-eyed minion. Like this whole thing.
I did love that she was like, is it supposed to be a penis? And then you're like, oh, that's how she's having sex with it.
Yeah. Yeah. To quote that one tweet, is Minions corn?
You sure it was a P on that last word or a C?
Yeah. No, Minions is corn, right?
Yeah.
I think it's what.
Yeah.
Anyway, they come outside. Hassan Minhaj has regained consciousness and he's like, get in the fucking car. We cut to the underground task force, whatever, offices where they're like, I thought this would be nicer, but whatever. Where they get lectured by Gillian Anderson and Kate McKinnon is just like, oh my God, yes, boss bitch, yes.
I love that the way she says it is, I respect you so much that it's coming back around to objectification.
You're the Beyonce of the government is what she says. But they tell them, hey, we flushed the drive. The drive is gone.
Yeah.
The undercover or whatever task force blames Outlander for this. And they're like, you're suspended. And as your last, task, you can take them to the airport and they can go home. Great.
Yeah.
We cut to them in the car. He's driving them to the airport. And Mila Kunis is like, hey, so like, what would happen if we hadn't flushed the drive? And he was like, what now? And she was just like, it's in my lady pocket. And he's just like, can you access it? She's like, yeah. Just like, don't look over here. They now have the drive. And he's like, okay, so we'd have to unencrypt it and then I guess try to stop the terrorist events. And she's like, okay, how do we do that? He pulls off, goes to a library.
Yeah.
Where he realizes he can't unencrypt the drive. It's encrypted by our government, meaning the US. And at this point, Kate McKinnon's like, I think I can help. She steals a phone. I'm going to borrow this for 1 minute. I will be there. From some other French people in the library because they are in Paris. And this is where she calls Edward Snowden, who's just like, I got you, fam, and gets them into the drive. And she's like, well, let me know if you're ever in LA. And he's like, LA is going to be tough. Like, it's not, I can't get there.
Yeah.
But this is where we reveal that it's not at all the drive they thought it was. It's a bunch of just secrets about everybody, like transactions. It's a knock list, essentially.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Yeah. So we then cut to a spa where they call Chrome Barbie. They're like, we need to add another target. She's like, it's double the rate. And we reveal that her face is all messed up from that grenade, but she did survive.
Yeah, it was just because it was a flashbang and not like a grenade, it just burned her face.
Right. So they head to Amsterdam because they think they'll be safe in Amsterdam and they find a hostel. And this is where he's kind of going through who all these people are. He's like, Those are gymnastic coaches. We're on the news. Like, this is not good. They're airing out their Facebook chats of like, I wish he would just die. Could you just murder him already? I totally will murder him for you. That's what friends are for. Morgan Freeman. Because we revealed that Kate McKinnon's last name is Freeman. So she's Morgan Freeman.
I love that when Outlander says that, she looks at him and goes, I can get a table at any restaurant whenever I want.
Yeah.
I love that she immediately goes to the evil way she uses her name.
A hundo.
But Paige, if you were that person and you had like a famous person's name,
Absolutely.
I would call and be like, hey,
It's me, Scarlett Johansson. I'd like to eat at Olive Garden, please.
I would talk to the third person. I'd be like, hey, Morgan Freeman would like to eat at your restaurant tonight. Could we get a table for Morgan Freeman? Because it's not incorrect.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not.
But also Morgan Freeman would never call himself to get a reservation is my point. You got to talk in the third person like that.
I feel like you gotta, yes. They interview Tess on the news, and this is where Tess is like, I just don't think Audrey could do this. She's not that sophisticated. She doesn't even have a bed spray or a bed frame, which is so good.
Yeah.
But we cut back into the hostel, and someone enters the room, and they all pull their guns, and it's our friend from Eurovision, the head of the Eurovision Icelandic committee.
Yeah.
And he just goes, Americans? And they're like, yeah. And they like put the guns away.
Yeah.
And I just have in my notes, play Yaya Ding Dong.
Yes. Yeah, I love that movie. It's so great.
If you haven't started watching Severance yet, that guy is in Severance.
Oh, is he? Great.
Yes, and he's really good. Anyway, but so we cut to them getting ready for bed. She's brushing her teeth next to Outlander, and he's like, you have been impressive. You've done really cool things. Like, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit maybe for like how strong and brave and smart you've been through this.
This is her friend building her up post breakup, like trying to get her back out there,
Yeah, and he's like, I know that Drew cared about you because I was in the van that night on your birthday, which means that it was also their meet cute. She just didn't know it yet.
Yeah, it was more of a creep cute for him because he was like listening in and watching on video like he wasn't there really.
Yeah. Well, and he says, he's like, the worst song on that jukebox is Your Body's a Wonderland. And she's like, well, I lost my virginity to that. And he's like, to who? The cheesiest person in the world?
Probably to Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
In 2001, weren't they together?
Maybe.
She was 18 at the time. I looked it up.
Ooh, who knows? But that is a pretty cheesy song to lose it to.
Yeah. I honestly was surprised she was 18. I was like, oh, she's probably way too young to have that be her, like the song she lost it to. But no.
No, it was probably exact.
Yeah. I mean, that might actually be the song she lost it to. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. 2001, I was
too young.
14. I was 14. Yeah.
Too young. Yeah.
Anyway, they come back to the room and Hassan Minaj is there. And he's like, yeah, now I got to clean up loose ends and get the drive because, spoiler, I'm the bad guy.
Right.
Oops. And I do love that he's like, I could sell it to the Russian mafia, the Chinese mafia, multiple mafias.
Yeah, there are like tons of them that want to buy this shit.
So many, but who should come back but Yaya Ding Dong and like suplex him to death?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally kills Patriot Act immediately. I loved it. I was like, great. Because I cannot hear this guy name drop Harvard one more time.
Go Crimson. But, and by that, I mean his blood. But he's now dead. And I love that the guy was like, he was going to rob us, right? And they were like, absolutely. So they take him out to the docks and they're trying to kind of like figure out how he found them and use his phone and figure out where the drop is. And this is where we find out that the reason he found them was because Morgan called her parents again from a burner phone.
Yeah.
Because she's like, they have to have 2 minutes to track a call. And they're like, not anymore. That's not a thing. They can just triangulate the call. And she's like, oops, oh well. So they're going to use his phone to find out where the drop is, but it requires a thumbprint. So they start using his thumb and then eventually they just cut his thumb off and take it with them. And I love that they put it in a lipstick tube.
That was so funny to me.
So that she could just have it with them.
I honestly wanted the scene that was like, you know how James Bond movies all have like the scene with Q where he's like giving them the gadgets. Like
right.
I kind of want a scene like that, but maybe we'll get it in The Spy Who Dumped Me Too.
No, but you will get one of the best ones ever in Spy with Melissa McCarthy.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So good. But we cut to Berlin because that's where the drop is going to be. And it's at this gala and they're going to pose as diplomats from Canada. And they're like, won't people notice that we're not them? And Outlander just goes, no one remembers what Canadians look like.
I love how he basically is just like, no.
No. But they kidnap the Canadian emissaries. And I love that Kate McKinnon's like, let me do an accent. I'm Bill. You might wonder how a boy like me ended up doing in Berlin, driving a taxi. It's a crazy story. But they're already tranked. They aren't going to hear the rest of the story.
Yeah.
But we cut to them getting their hair done in a salon, realizing that they have just switched hair colors, so they're still going to be wildly identifiable.
I thought that was very funny. They were like, well, they're looking for a blonde and a brunette, and we just made each other look like the other.
The other.
'Cause now I'm a blonde and you're a brunette. So they're looking for the same people, essentially.
Yeah, but this is also where she tells, because she has kind of told Mila Kunis about the comment about you're a little much, and this is her being like, I am kind of much, but like, we're not going to die.
Yeah, this is the emotional scene I was talking about.
Yeah. But we cut to that night. They're the guests. She's backstage with the entertainment, which is like Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
And this is where she's like, now here's the thing. There are some funny gags in this, but they go on too long.
Yeah.
It's too unrealistic. This whole extra piece of it is really a drag on this third act.
Yeah, man.
And really doesn't fit with the rest of the movie.
I do love Kate McKinnon a lot. I love her in this movie a lot. But it's like, this is too much. Because like, it's like a whole thing of them trying to find the buyer. And she's like, is it this Monopoly man who's clearly not that guy?
Right. Moneybags is suspicious.
She like inserts herself into the show sort of and is like trying to climb the trapeze. And eventually she does climb the trapeze, and then now we're like having a trapeze fight with Chrome Barbie. Like it's all crazy.
It's all crazy. And while that's happening, Outlander's like, I'm going to go find the buyer. You stay here because I know they're going to be looking for Drew. So keep an eye out. So he goes to try and find them, but he goes off comms. We will find out that he probably encountered Drew at some point or figured out Drew was there and was then kind of waiting for him to make a move.
Yeah.
Now, Mila Kunis is like, I can't get in touch with Outlander. I got to go, check on it.
Well, and she grabs the phone because someone texts Outlander's phone and he's like, well, where are you is the message that comes in. And he's like, and then she responds, I don't see you. And they say, I'm in the artillery room. So she goes there.
Right.
Yeah.
She goes there. But that's where she runs into Drew, her ex-boyfriend. And she's just like, what the fuck? You're alive? And he's like, yes, I had to try and keep you alive. I'm here to stop Outlander because he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Which I want to preface, based on all the information we have in the movie, he still could be.
Yeah, absolutely. This is very much one of those at the end of like those mistaken identity movies where there are twins that look the same, but
like
one's
Face Off.
evil. Yes, exactly. Like they're both good or bad ? I mean, they don't look alike, but you have no idea who is good or bad.
Right.
And so she just like doesn't choose really because Drew shoots Outlander.
Right.
And then she doesn't shoot Drew, although he thinks she is.
Right.
But the cops show and arrest Drew.
Right. For no reason, because we have not proved anything or called the cops or shown them why it would be Drew.
Which I think means there are other scenes that they cut out to make this movie still long at 2 hours.
Yes. But Outlander's fine because he had a bulletproof vest and he's like, hey, this thing will keep you alive, but like...
It'll still break your ribs if you get shot.
It'll still break your ribs if you get shot.
Yeah.
I do also love that Kate McKinnon at one point throws a cannonball that she finds in the artillery room at Drew's head. We should also talk, during the trapeze fight that's happening, during this, she kicks Chrome Barbie off the trapeze and Chrome Barbie lands and dies on a giant anchor that is on the floor in this very strange venue.
Which is, I mean, the venue page is more or less like a museum where they're holding this like...
It's the Queen Mary, basically.
Yeah, but they're holding like a celebrity auction or something. Like, I don't know what's going on, but there's a full ass audience watching this trapeze fight. Like, oh my God, this is the best Cirque du Soleil I've ever seen.
Right.
And then they see someone die on an anchor that was positioned there in a room where they were about to do trapeze. Like, even if they're not doing a fight, that could happen.
Super dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, everyone stands up and claps for the performance. I mean, murder they just witnessed, thinking it's part of the show.
Yeah.
I was blown away by just how insane all of this was, but I was kind of fine with it.
Yeah, but the police show up for no reason, take Drew away. Outlander's still alive, even though he got broken ribs. And then we cut to them later outside where he and Mila Kunis are having a moment and Kate McKinnon goes off to call her parents and she's like, I'm on Sebastian's phone so that they can have a moment and I can tell you guys that I'm alive.
Yeah.
And then she answers a phone call from Gillian Anderson who's like, oh, hey, you've got your job back. Come back on Monday, whatever. Great. Super awesome.
I do love Kate McKinnon's like forcing like, yeah, I'll be there on Monday as a joke.
Yes.
And then Gillian Anderson like laughs and she's like, but don't come in on Monday. And then Kate McKinnon is like, no, I am coming in on Monday. Like she continues the joke uncomfortably long and it lets you know that like she's going in on Monday. Like she's gonna be there.
She's going in.
Yeah.
She's going in. But then we cut back to Outlander and Mila Kunis, and Mila Kunis is like, oh, and like leans in to have like a kiss because it seems like that's what's gonna happen in the moment.
Yeah.
And he just goes like, because he broke his ribs moments ago, and he's like, no, it's just the actual pain. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm into this, but it hurts. And she's like, okay, well then like man up and play through or whatever.
Yeah,
and then they do make out.
Yes, and they do make out. Then we cut to them a year later on her birthday doing an op in Japan.
Yeah.
And that's the movie.
So having seen the movie, having talked about the movie, what did you think about The Spy Who Dumped Me?
I prefer the movie Spy, but you could do way worse than this movie. I do think it's got pacing issues. It's got third act issues.
Yes.
But it is a funny movie in general.
Yeah.
You know, it's middle of the road, I would say.
I agree 100%. I think it's a fine movie. It's not awesome. I'm glad I saw it once. Would I watch it again? Probably not. But everyone's charming in it. Kate McKinnon's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's largely a very watchable movie. You know, it's just not awesome. But Paige, do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, here it is with your fun facts.
Spy Who Dumped Me, fun facts. In the beginning of the movie, Victor is introduced as a Ukrainian immigrant to Mila Kunis' character. Mila Kunis was born in Ukraine, but left the country with her family when she was 7.
Yeah.
She and her husband now split their time between here and Europe. Now, almost every European place, Lithuania, Prague, Berlin, Paris, Vienna, and airport terminals, etc., was all shot in Budapest, Hungary.
Yeah, that checks out.
Hungary.
Yeah.
Yes. The director and co-writer of the movie, Susanna Fogel, wanted the movie to show how strong female friendships can be without having some manufactured conflict. And I think the movie actually does that really, really well. Their friendship remains strong throughout the film. They never turn on each other.
You don't need to do that. There's so much they're fighting against. Like, there's no need for any of that. And I'm glad that it was that way, too, because I really do love their relationship. They're just, like, great friends.
I think on that particular note, the movie is very successful.
Yeah.
It's just some of the other stuff doesn't quite connect. Gillian Anderson was Kate McKinnon's childhood crush, which I think was a fun inclusion.
I mean, that goes for a lot of people of Kate McKinnon's age and sexual orientation.
Oh, it's either that or Xena Warrior Princess.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. But I know a bunch of guys Kate McKinnon's age who like Gillian Anderson was their first crush too. Yeah.
Yeah. Any dude who's like into UFOs now.
Oh, yeah.
A hundo.
They got there through her.
100%. The Japanese food puns in the Tokyo scene at the end were all written by Kate McKinnon last minute on set.
That does not surprise me at all.
It had Mila Kunis laughing so hard, that's why they can't cut to her in a lot of the shots.
Yeah. I mean, it may have been the first time she was hearing those puns. And if I was in that situation, like on set, and Kate McKinnon was just like putting on a show for everybody like she does, I would have been laughing my ass off too.
Oh, yeah. During the hair dyeing scene, they covered their heads with cake mix or whipped cream. So for the bleach, it's whipped cream. For the brunette, it's cake mix.
Yeah, and it doesn't at all look like it should.
So in response to that one day where that taxi driver got to have Mila Kunis on his lap all day, Kate McKinnon and Mila Kunis have said that that is their favorite scene. However, it was very difficult to film because it was incredibly hot and the rig used to drive the car was hard to manage.
Okay.
Outlander has said that his favorite scene is the cafe where he gets to drown somebody in cheese fondue. And like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, how could it not be? Delicious.
How could it not be? Mila Kunis has said that she thinks she could be a good spy in real life. She says, I'm petite, I can squish my way through iron bars, and I can speak 3 languages. Those are my skills. Agreed.
Honestly, like,
agreed.
There's a reason a lot of famous assassins are actors. Like, it's a skill set that helps you get by in life.
Yes.
Because you can just sort of become anything and get through whatever. And like, she has done movies like this and she is in great shape. Like, I think she might be a decent spy.
Yep. Now, according to Outlander, while they were filming this, they went to an escape room and Mila Kunis got them out. So, like, she was the best of the escape room.
I mean, I would not be shocked to find out that she is a very just like legit smart person, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll end on this one. This is pretty fun. They had Kate McKinnon and Mila Kunis get a crash course in being spies while filming the movie. And Kate McKinnon joked that the most important quality in a spy is the ability to fall to the ground and roll like a log under a doorway. And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for The Spy Who Dumped Me in 2018?
This probably cost about $28 million.
Paige, it was $40 million.
Oh no, that's not good.
Which I wouldn't be shocked to find was like some of the actors' costs to make it.
Good for them. I'm glad people got paid.
Yeah, because like it was shot in all Hungary and they do that a lot to keep the budgets low.
Yeah.
But it does look great. Great acting. $40 million I could see, I guess. But it came out the weekend of August 3rd, 2018, and it was third in its opening weekend. It was beat by another spy movie, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh, that's the really good one.
I know. Number 2 was another spy movie, Christopher Robin. Number 3 was The Spy Who Dumped Me. Number 4 was Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. And number 5 was Denzel Washington's first sequel, The Equalizer 2. And I do know Christopher Robin isn't a spy movie. It was a joke.
Well,
but Paige, what do you think it made, that being The Spy Who Dumped Me, made in its opening weekend, the weekend of August 3rd?
I'm going to say 12 million because it is summer and but I also like Fallout is considered to be one of the best Mission Impossible movies of the recent batch of Mission Impossible movies. And everybody saw that shit. So I can't imagine that this snatched market share away from that.
Mission Impossible had already brought in, well, I should say at the end of this weekend we're talking about, had brought in $124.8 million. By the way, your guess of 12 million was almost exactly right. Spy Who Dumped Me made in its opening weekend $12.1 million.
Yay!
It was in theaters for a total of 8 weeks, but was never again in the top 5, although it was 6th in its opening week. Or in its second week, it was 6th. And then it kind of fell out of the top 10 in its third week and then was pretty far out of it by its fourth week. But it was in for 8 weeks. What do you think it made domestically at the box office?
$28 million.
It made a little bit more than that. It was $33.5 million, but it also made $45.4 internationally for a total of $78.9 million. It was very close to $79 million.
So it basically made its money back.
Yeah, it made its money back.
Yeah.
It probably didn't perform as well domestically as they wanted, but it made its money back.
Look, when you're up against Henry Cavill cocking his fists in that bathroom fight, you can't expect to make more, honey. Like that's my second favorite Mission Impossible movie of all time. The only one I like better is the very first one.
That is the correct order, or at least that's also my order. Yeah.
Yeah. Like hands down one of the best ones.
Unless we're ranking them in order at which they are a Mikey movie, then it's number 2 is the most Mikey movie.
2 is the most Mikey movie.
For sure.
But no, I love the original, the Brian De Palma, like the first one.
Yes.
Love it. I think it stands on its own great as a movie. But and the movies really kind of become something different after that. They kind of just become generic action fare. And the one that I think broke the mold enough to be really interesting is Fallout.
Yeah.
And no, it's not just because Henry Cavill's in it, but it is also because Henry Cavill's in it.
It's also great. It is a great movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah.
But Paige, that's your box office. Do you want to hit us with that romance scale?
Our romance scale is a scale of how romantic we found this movie today. We're on a scale from 1 to 4 because Mikey said so. Todd.
It's a 1. The movie's not romantic at all, but there is a love story, question mark?
Yeah, I'll give it a 1, but I'll give it a 0.5 on the roar scale for that last kiss.
I mean, I would give it a default 1 because they do kiss. Unlike Lockout that had so much sexual tension but never a kiss. Oof.
None.
Come on.
No sexual tension at all.
Come on. Guy Pearce, that lady from Lost, come on. Anyway.
Come on.
But, Paige, this week, we both showed up to the recording wearing the same free shirt we got at Panic Fest and watched The Spy Who Dumped Me. What are we watching next week as we continue what I'm just going to assume is a spy theme?
Todd, you've begged. The people have asked for it.
I certainly have asked for it this entire episode, yes.
We're going to give them what they want. We'll watch Spy by Melissa McCarthy. And yes, or with Melissa McCarthy. I'm sure it was by other people. But Spy with Melissa McCarthy, which doesn't really have a love story, but is a better spy movie. And so we'll enjoy that.
It's a better spy movie. It's a more succinct title, and you get to watch either Jason Statham or Jason Mantzoukas bone down a Melissa McCarthy.
It's Jason Statham, but you will also get to see Peter Serafinowicz in one of my favorite roles he's ever done.
I think you made up one of those three names, but I'm not going to say which one. But listeners, your homework for next week is to watch Spy with Melissa McCarthy and Jason Statham.
Hey, Todd, do you have any reviews for us?
I do. Let me check and read a 5-star review from Apple, because we have been getting some and I feel bad because I never read them. But this one is from Lauren Brookie. The title of the review is Rom-Com Virgin. Hello, they're probably a horror virgin listener page. Watch out.
Ooh.
The comment goes on to say, I want to watch more romantic comedies just so I can listen to more episodes. Paige and Todd are the perfect hosts. And you know what, Lauren? Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. And if you want to have us read your 5-star Apple review and or Spotify comment, leave us a Spotify comment or 5-star Apple review, and I'll do just that. So yeah, if you guys like this show and want to hear our other show where we talk about horror movies, that is The Horror Virgin. That's the only other podcast I am on, but Paige is also on Cult Podcast, which you can find at Cult Podcast. And you can find us on social media. I am at Todd J. Awesome, literally everywhere. Paige is at Paige Wesley on Instagram.
No, it's at Rampage Wesley on Instagram and TikTok, at Paige Wesley on Twitter.
That's right. All right. So that's where you can find Paige. If you want to find the show, we are at Romancing the Pod Show, right?
Yep, Romancing Pod Show on Twitter.
Well, and Instagram, right?
And Instagram, but it's show SHO because character limits. If you start typing Romancing the Pod, it'll come up.
It'll definitely come up on Instagram. I don't know about Twitter because I haven't posted on Twitter in a hot ass minute. So who knows? But that is where you can find more of us. So yeah, guys, give us a follow. Support the show any way you can. We'd love it.
Smash that like button.
Hell yeah.
And that's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm Todd.
And you complete us.
To completion. Bye. Kate McKinnon can do no wrong, nerds.